What's up, guys? Hope you're having a fantastic day. I feel weird sitting here doing this in a full Kathmandu jacket, but for those of you in Adelaide today recording, I don't know when you're watching this, but yeah, it's like 3 degrees, so it is freezing. But we're going to get into a topic today in this YouTube video. There's going to be very simple. This is not going to be a super long video. I say that now. We'll see how far down the rabbit hole we get. But a super basic concept that I just wanted to put to your attention. And there's just a little bit more to say on it than I could fit into an Instagram post. And I didn't want to do a full fucking 15-minute Instagram story. So YouTube video it is. But it is what I call the Synergy Trilogy. And it is a very basic, as I said, very basic concept. If we can go to the next slide here. And it basically incorporates the 3 main pillars of what it is I coach, right? So we have our training and our movement and our cardio and all kind of, physical exercise in the top circle. We have our nutrition, our health in the left circle here. And we have everything kind of inner world related, self-development, mental, emotional, spiritual. Again, there's a lot that falls into that category, but not super important for this video on this concept. And then in the middle here, we have our synergy, right? Where all 3 of these pillars combine beautifully. They're all in balance. They're all working together in harmony to create the best version of ourselves, basically the best body, and for us to be able to experience life to its absolute fullest. Because at the end of the day, that's really what all this is for, right? And this has only really occurred to me in the last couple of weeks when I was like, what's the end game of this? What does all this actually give us? It's like, yeah, we know what having a great body gives us, right? We know why we want that. We know what feeling more confident allows us to do or whatever. But what is the main end goal that this actually, what does all this actually mean? All right, it means we get to experience life to its fullest because we have a lot less limitations or roadblocks or things getting in our way. Right, we're able to do more things. We're able to wear what we want to wear. We're able to show up how we want to show up. We're able to communicate and talk and go and do physical activity and have the energy and the clarity and whatever else we need to do whatever we want, right? So all combined to give us synergy, which allows us to experience life in its fullest. Now, what I'm going to be going over in this video is basically what can happen if we only get one of these or a few of these in alignment and we sort of leave one of these out, right? So if we go to the first one now, so if you're to have your training and your movement and your cardio all dialed in, all going real well, and your nutrition, your health is also pretty good, right? This is probably the most common one, especially in the fitness industry. People that, wanting to improve their body, right? Wanting to lose weight, build muscle, whatever it might be. The 2 main pillars they're focused on is their training, like having a program and knowing what you're doing in the gym and maybe your step count and cardio, whatever it might be, and their nutrition, right? Mostly in the form of calories and macros or a meal plan. I know some coaches are great. We'll focus on the health aspect as well in terms of food quality. Some just more focused on the scales moving up and down and taking, if it fits your macros, to a whole new level. But regardless, these 2 things are often really dialed in people. And maybe you watching this are the same. Maybe your training's good. Maybe your nutrition's good. Maybe you are seeing some physical progress between these 2, and you're like, things are pretty good. However, if we don't also focus on our inner world and incorporate the development of it, right? And I'm not talking about just real basic, a lot of people will say they're doing mindset stuff and it's like a little bit of journaling, some affirmations, like fucking vision board and, reading Atomic Habits or something like that. That's often the extent that people will go to when diving into their inner world. But if we don't have this really dialed into the level that I personally like to take my clients to with this, we get a few things, right? I've only written a few because I could only fit a certain amount in these circles, but we are still very much at the mercy of our external world because a big piece of our inner world stuff is understanding who we are at a deeper level, understanding projections, understanding triggers, understanding judgment and comparison and all that kind of stuff. So if we're not focused on those things and overcoming those and understanding what they are, it's easy to be at the mercy of external world. So what I mean by that is doing things for other people, people pleasing, feeling down if you post a photo, say a gym selfie, for example, and you don't get as many likes or comments or people of the opposite sex or the same sex jumping in your DMs, whatever it is you want. If you don't get that and that puts you in a certain mood, basically having your mood and your energy and how you feel about yourself dictated to by the actions of others is the easiest way to put it, right? So if we don't have that, we fall into this sort of category, this sort of trap. Lack of connection. So when I'm starting working with clients, we do a lot of obviously outcome setting stuff. However, when I do outcome setting stuff with people, we need it to have a big level of connection, right? It's just not enough to have a scale weight that you're trying to hit, right? That's obviously important and is part of it. But the true meaningful outcomes and direction and purpose that I get my clients to think about and we set in stone so we know what we're working towards comes from the awareness of inner world stuff, right? So if we have a lack of connection, it's easy to lose motivation and inspiration, and we get lazy and we yo-yo all the time, and we're not connected to anything, right? And the spiritual element of things will come into play here as well. Having trust and belief in something bigger than you has your back. And again, that sentence within itself might be a new one to you, or might trigger you a little bit, but it is a massive part of our growth. So having that lack of connection can really play a role. Comparison, I mentioned before, judgments in there as well, and identity confusion, right? Especially, I've literally just jumped off a live on Instagram talking about this. But if you're only focused on these two and you're only focused on your body itself and how it looks and how it feels in clothes, and you're putting all your confidence eggs, all your happiness eggs, all your self-worth eggs, self-esteem, belief, trust, whatever, into that body basket, and you're not focusing on these other areas of your life, i.e. your inner world or your relationships or your job, career, your fun, your lifestyle, anything like that, you start to get a real warped sense of who you are. And you place all your focus and kind of status in your body. So what happens if a day you're not feeling your body, it's not looking great? Or what happens if you are feeling good in your body, you walk in the gym, you see someone that looks fucking amazing, and then you start comparing yourself and judging yourself, and now your identity feels real shitty because you don't have these other areas of your life to kind of fall back on. Right, whereas myself, for example, again, I'm happy to just own this because I've done a lot of this work on myself, which is why I teach it. But if I'm not having a great body day, I've got a lot of other things I can go and lean on, right? I know I can go and sit in a meditation. I know I can get out into nature. I can go and catch up with some of my close mates and have a kick of the footy or have a coffee or have a chat. That's going to help me feel better about myself, right? Whereas if it's just in my body and your body's not feeling great, like you're going to be in a bit of trouble, right? And again, I could dive into that topic itself for hours and hours, and I do that with clients. But identity confusion. All right. So that's what happens when we have these two circles. If we just have our training and our movement dialed in, and maybe we do have our inner world dialed in, so maybe we have done that exploring and we have the awareness and we're working on ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and that's actually feeling real good. But we eat like shit and our diet's full of crap and we consume a whole lot of rubbish and our water intake sucks and we're just jacked up on coffee all the time. We're going to get things like energy fluctuations, so being super high but then crashing, feeling real tired and lethargic. We're going to get very random physical results. So you don't always have to be tracking, but having some concept of what's going into your body and how much is obviously best for us to be able to manipulate so we can work you towards your physical goals. Getting random physical results if this side of things not dialed in. General fogginess. So again, if your diet's filled with processed crap and your meals are all over the place and it's just, you're not nourishing your body and you're just fitting in whatever the fuck you can and want and you're getting real lazy, you're going to be real foggy. I've recently switched my diet back to predominantly protein and fats and carbs through a lot of fruits and things like that. Again, I know that's not for everyone, but just with that for me and my version of what I know works for me, my clarity and my mental focus, my mental clarity at the moment is really fucking good. Like it is really, really good. And my body's also thanking me for that, for cleaning up and improving the quality of my nutrition and really focusing on my health. Poor performance. So again, this kind of comes with the energy stuff and the lethargy and whatnot. But if you're not fueling your training sessions properly and you're eating rubbish and then going to try and train, you're going to feel heavy. You're going to feel gross, right? That's going to then impact how well you train, and how well you train is going to impact how your body looks and feels and performs, which is going to impact your confidence, right? So again, it's a flow-on effect. And health issues, like pretty self-explanatory, right? If you're not focusing on your diet, and you neglect it for long enough, there's probably going to be some side effects of that, right? So that's those two. And then the last one, this one, I don't really know too many people that have just these two, but hey, I'm sure there's people out there, maybe people in like the super spiritual community might fall into here, but hey, I don't know, we'll just roll through it anyway. But if you've got your nutrition's really dialed, your health's good, and your inner world's really good, again, mentally, emotionally, spiritually aware, and explorative, whatever, we're going to lack body composition, right? Because we're not lifting weights, we're not challenging our body physically, we're not running, we're not equipping our body, right? We're just focused on nutrition and our inner world stuff, and we're not actually challenging it physically to get stronger and improve for us, which takes us into the second one, which is strength. Again, training and movement is not just for aesthetics, right? It's about making general life and day-to-day tasks easier, right? Like carrying shopping, or going on a walk with your friends, or going on a hike, or getting up off the couch, like day-to-day things. We want to be doing some form of resistance training. And then aerobically, doing something for your aerobic fitness as well. So you're not, puffing walking up and down stairs, or you're able to get through your weight sessions without your breathing impacting the weights you're lifting, and all these kind of things. No action. So I put that in there is because this could also be your actual action towards your goals, whatever it might be. So in this instance, it may not be the training specific stuff, but are you actually taking the inner world work you're doing, taking the platform you're making with your nutrition, your health and whatnot, and actually using it in your external world to go and get whatever you want, right? It doesn't have to be a physical result. It could be a promotion at work. It could be starting your own business. It could be, just doing some other development on yourself to make yourself a better person, or a better mum or dad or friend or partner, or whatever it might be. Any outcome that you're actually chasing, we need to make sure that the work we're doing is being executed and being put out into our external world, so we take action on things. Otherwise, it's a little bit of a waste, right? Energy, so same kind of thing as before, but training and moving your body and making it fitter and stronger is going to give you more energy, right? More muscle mass, more clarity. So again, super important piece there. And then general confidence in your body, right? If you're not confident in your body and that it might break down, I have a feeling I missed one. I put injury in the last one. It might break down and you get injured all the time, and you just don't feel comfortable going out to do things because you feel like your body's going to let you down, right? That's not good either. That's not what we want. So that's those two in a nutshell. And then this is everything all together. And what I do is these are the three pillars that we focus on, and there are a lot of things obviously that come off of these, but we want all of these things to be dialed in. We want your training to just be amazing. You look forward to it, you get stronger, you understand your program, you feel good in the gym, you see yourself hitting PBs. With the movement aspects, like you're able to get outside and walk and hike and get steps in, get movement in. You also might be challenging yourself with running, or maybe high intensity training, boot campy stuff, boxing, whatever it might be, to really strengthen our body and help with our body composition. Obviously, from a nutrition health perspective, for some of the people I work with, that does look like calories and macros that are working towards a certain body comp goal, scales going up and down. If it's not macros and calories, then I also just work with people on general health, just tightening up your diet, eliminating a bunch of the processed crap, looking at your food quality, where you're buying your food from, and nourishing your body to allow you to train better, move better, feel better, right? So getting that dialed in. And then your inner world. See a lot of the group calls you see me do, or one-on-one calls, it's predominantly inner world focused, but it's anchored to these other things, right? So it's all well and good to do your inner world work, but if it's not for a specific reason other than to do inner world work, it's going to be very limited. Whereas a lot of what I do around, identities and belief system, understanding your unconscious, conscious mind, understanding how we create our reality, our state of being, masculine, feminine, ego, all these kind of things, we go through those concepts, but then we tie them into, for most people, to their body, right? Or to their ability to stick to nutrition and calories, right? Because maybe in the past they've self-sabotaged when they've gone on their fitness journey, and that self-sabotage very likely has a root cause that's in their inner world based on, it could be a number of different things, right? But we find that in their inner world. So we need to have that dialed in and anchored to these other things in your physical world, so you can then go out and make changes, live a better life, and live life to its fullest, as I said before. And if we do that, we create this synergy. The most beautiful thing you can do for yourself is to have all these pillars working hand in hand. They all bounce off each other, right? They are all so important for the growth and development of the other, right? I cannot stress that enough, and it's still just very neglected, right? Especially in the fitness industry, and that's why I'm here speaking what I do and doing what I do specifically around the fitness industry, because I know a lot of people are stuck in this first one, right? Training's probably good, nutrition's probably good, but all of these pieces like what I've written here are a real issue, right? And again, being that one-dimensional gym goer, as I put it. So dialing in all these three, creating that synergy is the best thing you can do for yourself, right? So to wrap up this video, I just want you to, ask yourself, maybe go back and just think, cool, which ones of these do I need to focus on more? Like, do any of these, pieces here that I went through, do any of those resonate, or any of those landing with me? Maybe all three need work, and that's fine too. All right, but what's the biggest one for me that I'm missing? Because, that's the other thing. There's always going to be moments where, one's above the other, and then you need to bring the other one up. But as long as you're bringing them all up together, that's fine. We just want to make sure we're not neglecting one of them, right? We want to make sure they're all staying as balanced as we can, and we're focusing on them all equally, because that's going to give you the best physical results. And as I said, allow you to experience life to its fullest. So that's it for today's video, guys. Definitely went a bit longer than I was planning. But if you have any questions or comments or anything you'd like to discuss with me, please feel free to reach out to me on Instagram. And hey, if you're wanting to, dive into this work and really create your synergy trilogy here and create that synergy. Little logo down the bottom, Phoenix, you might have seen, is relaunching. It's a program that I've run 3 different times. Every time had just, awesome results. It's probably the most fulfilling coaching program I've ever done. And then I kind of just let it fade away and thought I needed to change it to something else. But I was like, no, this is what I do. So we're bringing it back. It's going to be a lot different. It's going to be bigger, better. There's going to be more stuff. It's going to be, fucking amazing. So if you would like to know some info on that, again, feel free to DM me. And I hope you found this video useful, and we'll catch you in the next one.